Good evening, welcome back to my channel. Tonight I've come down to Shoreham. I'm just fishing, I think it's Lancing on the map, comes up under as. Parked in the waterfront car park down here. Now I was meant to be out today, I was meant to be out Eastbourne today. That got cancelled. I was meant to be out tomorrow, which is Monday, out of Essex Marina fishing for stingray. That's been cancelled because of the wind. So I wanted to get out, so I've just popped down here tonight. So my tactic's going to be, I'm going to be fishing with a dongle rig. Now this is the first time I've used them and it's the first time I've made them up. So I watched a few YouTube videos myself. I've got 4/0 circle hook, 2 3/4 to 3 inches of the Tronics Pro dongle braid. Got that tied up, that's on a 3-foot pulley rig. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start getting baited up now and get my rods out. The only bait I've got me as well, because it's a last minute thing, I only had what was in the freezer. Luckily, when I was out on Dawn Tide a couple of weeks back, when I was fishing the offshore trip, we caught some mackerel and sand eels and launces. So what was left at the end of the day, I took home, froze up, and I've got those with me today. So what I'll do is now, I'll get my bait prepared, and I'll show you how I'm going to use it. Again, this is the first time for me, so it's a learning curve. It's only what I've watched off YouTube myself. I'll show you what I'm going to do. Right, so what I've done is I've put the bait on the bait needle. You know, one's with a little crook on the end, but you normally put your hook in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the dongle braid on that loop. Sorry if it takes a little while because I can't see what I'm doing with this light beaming in your face. Pull it up against the bait so the braid's running along the side of it. Keep it nice and taut. Then a bit of bait elastic. Put it up. What I've done is I've also tied some knots in the dongle braid. It gives it something to bite onto. So I'll give that a nice little whip. And then what I will do is I've got another little bit of sand eel there, and I'll whip that against the side of it also. What we'll do is I'll give it a generous whip on there. That's it, and that's that done. That's done. So then all I'll do is I'll push it up, take the dongle loop off, then that comes off, and that's how it is. And that will fit then on my breakaway impact shield. Like so. Then pull it up to the top, and that's it. And that is now ready to cast out. This is my, like I say, it's my first time using it, so I'm learning. I fancied using it, I like trying different things. Well, I'm going to get this chucked out in the water. I'll get back to you as soon as. Right, so both rods are out now. I've got sand eel on one, mackerel on the other. One thing I do wish I did have was, where's that rig? I wish I had the, you know, the metal rings that go on the end. I've got some in my box, but they're more like a, you know, when you slide the weight around like a split ring type. Not the actual dongle rings, which is one solid piece of metal, but I might have to try them because I did notice was as they're in the, on the impact shield, normally as the whip pushes it off, that will just fly off. Well, you can see it's not, it's just getting stuck on the end. So what I'll do is I'll see how these are when I reel in, and if they're not any good, I'll have to loop one of the little rings on there. I might have to tie another knot in the braid or something just to make it a little bit shorter again. We'll see what these come in like. So I've got a bite on the one I chucked out first of all. It keeps slowly pulling round. But I've set my drags, I'll just wait for it to pull round and take off a bit of line. I'll just flip you around so you can see the rod tip, see what it's doing. It's just slowly pulling. The one thing I've got tonight is I haven't bought me big floodlight that goes under my GoPro. I've only got my little one. It don't last very long, it only lasts a couple of hours, so I have to just turn it on when I'm going to be recording. I'm not sure how well it'll light up these tips. Put the headlight on as well, so that might help. You can see the left hand rod is just both of them going. Could be a bit of weed on the line. Right, that's that little link I was on about there. Well, you can make it out on that camera. It's one end, but it's like a split ring type. What I'll do is I'm going to loop that on, like so, and I'll just tie another knot in the middle of it, and hopefully that'll shorten it up enough that it gives me the bait presentation I wanted. Go like that. So I've put a big knot in the middle of it. That's shorted it up. Yeah, that's pretty much bang on the size I wanted it. I'll get this one baited up. I'll hang this on the trace ready. Right, there you go. Here's the one I'm going to bring out. I think I'm definitely going to change them all over. So slide that up and off. And you can see you've got the bait with a little ring on the bottom. That will definitely get ejected now off that breakaway impact. Right, that's a bit better. I've got my sight light up on the back of my trolley. I've just tied it up so it's pointing more direct on the rod tip, so I can save the headlamps as much as I can. I can see it now. That battery lasts about 6 hours on low. The battery on this will last about 2 hours on low. I'm going to try and make sure I've got enough light as I can so I can record with good quality for you. What I'm going to do is now I'm going to reel in the first rod I chucked out. See how it's done. I want to check how that dongle's come off the breakaway. If it hasn't come off, like I say, I'll swap all over to the rings. I've already done one and I'm quite happy with the way that's come out. But what I will do is I'll go down to Phil's. If he hasn't got any of the little dongle rings in, he'll order them in, no problem. Right, spin your around so you can see. Right, no wonder I struggled to reel that in. There's got to be £10 of weed on that. There you go, that's one of the sandals I've got. So they're quite big, well it's a launch, that one. Quite a good size, probably coming up 12 inches long. These, so we caught these about 2 weeks ago now. Well, might be 3 weeks ago. Yeah, I think it's 3 weeks ago. So they went in the freezer within 2 hours of catching them. All come out live bait tank. Took them out. Drove our home straight in the freezer, so they've retained all their goodness. Right, good thing is that dongle did deploy. When I reeled that in there, it wasn't attached to the brake ram, which is good. At least I know I wasn't sitting there for 25-30 minutes, not fishing, you know. But Jesus Christ, that was a lot of weed I just reeled in. A run on that right hand rod there, look at it, go. No, nothing on that cast, just a load of bloody weed. Could have swore that as a bite, got a bit excited there. Well, that clump of weed's bigger than the first, I'll just show you. Don't know how well you can make that happen now, but that is a big old clump. Don't know how well you make that happen there, but that is a big old clump of weed. It looks like the other rod's got it all around it getting ready. Right, well, I'm barely able to keep the rod in, the other rod's bent right round. How disheartening is that? 2 hour drive, oh, hour and a half drive down here. Got an hour and a half drive back. At the moment I just weeded out. That's so doing it. I might just drop one in a little bit closer. So it's only a couple of hours into the tide. Hopefully it will clear up, but I don't know, it's a new mark now. I can't remember what happened last time I was here. I'm going to reel this other rod in, get myself back together, see what I'm going to do then. Yeah, the other rod's gone right round. Right, that weren't too bad around me rig that time, but the leader had loads on it. What I'm doing is now, I'm going to sit here, get both rods baited back up properly, clear all the weed away from the lines, have a quick drink, and I'm going to see. First I'm going to turn my rods so they're facing the water. I'm going to keep the tips as high as I can get them. That's where I am at the moment, that's all I've got. So we're only an hour and a half into the flood now. Hopefully as it gets a little bit further in, we can get through the weed, or the weed will clear. It's not even just weed, it's long stringy grass that's like 2 metres long. Let's get a bit to show you. See, look, it's this grass, look, it's all long like that. And there's loads of it up your line. Get all these rods sorted out, set everything down. Right, well, I just looked through the video from last time when I was here, and it was alright at the beginning of the tide, the weed, but through about the middle of the tide I started picking up a lot of weed last time. Now I'm only about an hour and a half into the flood and I'm picking up loads of weed already, but I've got to see it out now. I've just been baited up all my rigs, I've turned my tripod round so it's now facing the water, rod tips as high as I can get them. I might drop them in a little bit closer and see if that will make a difference. Well, I'm going to get them both back out of there now. I can't just sit here and do nothing. Right, that's it, both rods bashed back out there now. I haven't chucked them out nowhere near as far as I'd like. I've just given gentle overhead lob, they're probably 40-50 yards out. So frustrating. Like, you put all this time and effort in trying to make a video. I know, like, it's not my job or anything, I do work full time, but it's a lot of effort, you know. I haven't had to buy no bait today, but I've probably spent 40 quid to get here and back, a bit of parking and across the toll. It's the time and effort you put in. Now, I put all this effort in, if I don't catch nothing tonight, I won't make a video. I don't want to post videos where I don't catch anything. I've done one once, but yeah, I don't like doing it. Hats off though to all the anglers that do it full time, and they get a couple of videos out a week. They must put some hours in. Right, but that seems much better at the minute. The right hand one I did chuck out a little bit further, and that has pulled down a little bit, but nothing like it was. It is fishable, but like I say, I'm only at 60 yards, 50 yards. Not where I want to be. I'll have a couple of casts like this and then I will put one out a bit further and just see what the situation is and go from there. Right, that's much better that time. Well, I've just got a little bit of weed around the connecting link. The bait's got a little bit around it, but nothing like it was. I will try out a little bit further this time. Just going to give the left hand rod a reel in now. Don't think there's nothing on it. It's not bent over it a bit. Hopefully there's no weed on it either. Also, I did cast the right hand rod out a little bit further that time, and again, that's not bent over anymore. There's only a tiny little bit of weed on it when I reeled it in. Right, my left hand rod looks like I might have just picked up a little bit of weed. I did chuck it out a little bit further. Yeah, it's bent over double now. So it was out there a while before it started picking up the weed, so that's a bit better. Let's have a little look, just in case. Right, it's just gone 4 AM now. Still not a bite, but so I chucked that left rod out again a bit further. That's the one that's picking up the weed now. The good thing was on that last cast, nothing was around the rig. It was up the main line, so the weed's obviously floating near the surface. You know, I had nothing below the leader knot. But yeah, again, it's rattling away when it's picking up weed. The right hand rod that I've put in a little bit closer hasn't. But really in the right hand rod, check that. Then do the left again. What a pain. So annoying. But you've got to be in it to win it. Right, but it's just coming up 4:30. Yeah, 4:30. And I've reeled in my first cast without no weed on it. So there's no weed on my bait whatsoever. Just bang that one back out as far as I can get this time. Gonna bait up another launch on that one. Swap over the right hand rod and do the same that, chuck it out as far as I can get it. Right, as you can probably tell, it's just started getting light. It's just gone 5 o'clock in the morning. And I'm starting to get desperate now, so I've still not even had a bite. Right, I've just pulled out another rig out of my box. I've got one of my match rigs. I've got a 3 hook trace, which is a 2 up, 1 down. So that's 2 hooks above the weight here. And then you've got the 3rd hook, which hangs below the weight. This is a flapper, it's not clipped down or anything. But the only problem I've got is I ain't got no worm with me. All I've got is fish bait, so I'm going to cut up some thin chunks of mackerel. And I'll have a look through my sandal, see if I've got a little sandal. If I've got a little sandal, I can cut them up into like inch sections and look them on a hole. Right, and I reeled in that one, put that 3 hook flapper rig on. Not a single bit of weed on that trace, not a single bit of weed up the line. So what I do is now that little 3 hook flapper rig, it's got sandal on all the hooks, the smallest sandal I had. I'm going to cut up some mackerel now into tiny little sections, give that a go after. That'd probably be my preferred bait actually. Just get this one bait back up. I'm going to keep one out there on a bigger bait. As it gets lighter, I'm more becoming less and less confident in getting it on the bigger bait. But I'll give it till high tide, so around about 7ish, then I'm going to head home. But now we've got a little bit of light, I'm just going to bang both of these rods back out. I've still got one out on the dongle, one out on the flapper rig. So I'm just going to reel in the dongle, change that over, and then do the same with the flapper as well. We're going to put little bits of mackerel on that. I've already cut some, see, tiny 10mm sections up. Got size 6 hooks on, so pretty much anything that comes along should hook it. I'll turn you as you see me reeling on these couple of casts. Got a little tiny bit of weed on that, but nothing much. That wasn't out as far, and I had the rod tip a little bit lower, and I think that's what picked up all the weed. I'm going to pick up something. You can see, look at the size of the hooks. They're like, put my finger behind it. All I'm going to do is just go through the flesh side, back out, back through again, back out. So that's just on there, sitting on there like that. That's it, both rods out. I'll give it, what's the time now? I'll do it to about 7. Up past 5. Another hour and a half I've got to pack up. But it's very shallow out there. When I just cast out I could feel it down. It's literally, as soon as you get the water, it hit the bottom. I have looked on the Navionics app, it's not very deep out there. So there I am, I've cast out 120 yards. I've got a marker on the Navionics. I don't know if you can make that out. Got the marker about 120 yards out, and it's showing it as low tide, it's out of the water, so it's -3 foot at low water. Yeah, -3.6 foot. So you can see that. -3.6 foot. Right, that's it, that's my last cast. I'll pack that now. Made enough, can't take much more of it. Right, I'm just about really my last cast now. And that wind has just picked up like forecasting. So I'll get these two reeled in now, then I'll be packing up getting in the car. Just spin you around so you can see as I'm reeling in. That's what I've been dealing with. Stones in it, everything. Well, there we go, it all comes down to this. Right, well there you go, first blank session. I've had a long while. I've got a feeling that's my first blank session since last year when I blanked down at Gray's Wharf, and I did do a video on that one. So I'll see how I feel. I might see if I decide to do a video on this or not. I don't like doing videos when you don't catch nothing, because you don't tune in to watch me catch nothing. I do appreciate everyone who watches and everyone who subscribes, so thank you very much. See you all again soon.